that it's actually going to be real. So now our ketchup jam. Never mind.
Ketchup jam. Ketchup jam is also good.
Hi guys, this is Emily and Lucas from Pearl Jars. So today we're going to make some 4 fun recipes to use for tomatoes that you grow in your garden. I always have a problem of growing too many tomatoes and I don't know what to do with them.
Exactly, that's why we have 4 recipes for you today. One is a tomato jam, the other one is a salsa, the other one is ketchup, and then a local Portuguese tomato soup.
I'm from the States, so I've never had Portuguese tomato soup. So this is really fun and exciting for me.
Yeah. So here in Portugal we eat a lot based on potatoes and also carrots. So it's a very basic recipe because tomatoes, of course, now in the summer there's plenty of tomatoes, and then tomatoes, yeah, and then carrots and potatoes. It's always very available in the season here, so that's why these are very cheap ingredients as well, and they are great for tomato soup.
So we're gonna preserve this and then get to eat it in the fall and winter?
Exactly, that's the idea. Because now it's like super hot here, so why would we eat like tomato soup? We can, but it's more like a winter dish. And but we have so many tomatoes, so it's a good way to preserve them. And then in the winter, when it gets cold, we have a delicious recipe ready in the jar.
Awesome, I love that.
Yeah, so we have now almost everything cut. I think the cooking time is very simple because it's like a classic soup. So we will cook this for about 20 minutes. See, the carrots are maybe a little bit too big, so see if they're cooked through. Then you cook it maybe a little bit longer, but it should be good in between 20 and 30 minutes. And I think now, yeah, generally you have already the tomato ready.
So now that we've got our chopped onions, I put them in a pot and we're gonna saute them on the stove. We're gonna use this pot later for our canning, so we just have that ready as well. Now that our onions are looking good, we're gonna add in the rest of our chopped ingredients. So now that all our ingredients are in the pot, we will be adding some stock. And now we're just gonna bring this to a boil. While our tomato soup is cooking in the back, we're gonna start with our spicy salsa.
Yeah, exactly. So this salsa, we have some chilies, we have tomatoes and onion. So I'm gonna start cutting the chilies. I actually don't have gloves now because I'm being very careful and I think we don't need to use them. So just when you cut chilies, always be careful to afterwards clean well the board and also clean well your hands so that you don't touch your eyes or something because that can hurt a bit.
So usually in the States, I eat salsa with jalapenos. This is really fun that we're making it with chilies.
Yeah, it's might not like the original way. I know that normally like you would use jalapenos, but it's not really something that we have here frequently available. So that's why I said like, okay, look, let's use just these chilies because they're very common here and very in season.
So today we're also going to be using our simple Luna jar, and we're going to be canning this recipe so that it cooks in the jar, which I think is also really creative and fun.
Yeah, exactly. Like this, we preserve them, and then I think like a spicy sauce is something that's always good to have, and yeah, it's just great also for the winter months. So with this recipe, we're going to do it actually a little bit different. Since we are canning it, we're going to cut everything raw, put it into the bowl, mix it up, add it into the jar, and then let it cook in the pot while we can it.
Alright, so now that we've cut up all our ingredients, we've added some salt and pepper and mixed them up. And now we're just going to pour them into this. Trying not to spill. And then we're going to use our hand food processor.
Yeah, and blend it up.
Yep. Perfect. It looks great. So now we're just going to take our funnel and pour it right in.
I think we have a little bit too much, so that's... Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to leave a little bit of space so that when we can the jars, it cans them correctly.
Yep, it won't overflow. So yeah, that looks beautiful. So now we can already close them with our 2-piece lid. We will close them. Always closing first really tight and then opening up a little bit. Now here as well. Yeah, so now this is ready.
Yeah, and now we're going to check on our tomato soup.
Exactly.
And hopefully it'll be ready and we'll be able to can them both. Alright, so now that our tomato soup is looking really tasty and smelling really good, we're going to take it off the stove for a second. And we're just going to use our hand blender again. Alright, so now that we've blended it all up, it's ready. So I noticed that we made a lot, so we also added a liter jar. We're using our beautiful Mariposa jars. So this is going to look so pretty and wonderful and just going to taste so good. So I'm just going to take our funnel and I'm just going to pour it in. Now that our jars are filled, we're just gonna put the caps on. So that'll be really easy. We just snap it down. Perfect. So now they're ready. So now that we've brought our pot to a boil, we're gonna take our jars and we're just gonna carefully lift them into the hot water bath. So this canning process is really good. It's really easy. All you need is hot water. And then you're just gonna leave them in here for 120 minutes. Perfect.
So now we're gonna do the tomato jam.
So while he's cutting up the tomatoes, I'm gonna talk about some of our ingredients. Obviously, we're using tomatoes. We're also using this jam sugar, so some sugar maple jam. And then we have lemon and some ginger. So we have 1 kilogram of tomatoes and then 500 grams of sugar. So the sugar is specifically going to be preserving the jam. So that's why we're using what looks like a lot. But that's what you need to make jams, so it'll taste really good.
And jams taste sweet anyways, and that's why they're so good, that's why we like them.
Yeah, definitely.
So this recipe, I love to put it on a sandwich, for example, or things like this. It tastes really great. We're going to be using the sunny cap jars because, as Emily said, we're going to preserve it through sugar. It means we don't have to really can it, and that's how we can use the sunny caps perfectly for that. And yeah, so just finishing up to cut the tomatoes.
Perfect. Alright, so now that all of our tomatoes are cut, we're going to add the sugar. So I'm just pouring that in. And then we're going to mix it up.
I also have a little trick. So, well, that's not really a trick. I think like most everybody knows it, right? But it's really easy to peel ginger with a spoon. So that's normally the way of how I do it. You just take off the peel. So to spice the jam a little bit up, we'll add a little bit of ginger and the lemon.
I'm a big fan of both lemon and ginger, so I'm so excited to try this.
So
now that we've cut up the ginger and we've added that in, I'm just squeezing the lemon. Making sure to not get any seeds into our mixture. This smells so good, and I'm so excited. So now we're just gonna mix that up, and it's ready for the stove.
So we'll cook this for about 20 minutes, but you have to see a little bit how it goes because it really needs to have a jammy consistency. So we'll just see how it goes, and yeah, let's put it on the stove.
Our tomato jam is ready now. The ingredients have been sitting on the stove and it's gotten thick and looks delicious. So now we're just gonna take it off the stove and just do a little bit of a blend.
So now the jam is ready and has the correct consistency, exactly this like jammy consistency that we're looking for. Took a little bit longer, took around 40 minutes. So yeah, that's I think the time we're looking for. So now we're gonna fill it.
So yeah, we're gonna just use our funnel and our simple food preserving jar.
This is a classic recipe that really lasts you for a long time because it should last just like any other jam. So you can keep it also as any other jam. We'll close it now right away, which means that we will close it because it's still very hot. We will close it with our preserving closure. So this is the hot fill method. It means as this is very sugary, we here don't need to pressure can or put the water bath. It's fine, we just close it right away, close it tight. So close it tight and then open up a little bit and then and it's good. And now what's going to happen is it's going to form a little vacuum because of the heat, because it's still hot inside. And then you can just use it as any other jam that you buy in the supermarket, just we did it ourselves with the tomatoes from our garden.
Perfect. So fun and easy. So now we're gonna do our tomato ketchup. So this is really fun because it's such a healthy alternative to any store-bought ketchup, and it's so quick and easy to make. So we're just using tomatoes, half an apple, half an onion, and later we're gonna be using tomato paste, some vinegar, and some sugar. So right now I just chop these up.
And the recipe is very simple. The first what we do is basically we want to cook the tomato and the onion and the apple. Then it all get into like a tomato paste. So we will cook this for about 40 minutes. You could of course use here also canned tomatoes so that it goes quicker. But of course we're here today to use all the tomatoes from our garden, so that's why we won't do that. And yeah, so that's why we will cook it for around 40 minutes. And then once the sauce is ready, then we will play around and add the vinegar and all the other spices to get it to the taste that we want. Because the cool thing is as well that now we can taste it as we like it, right? So we can go and go like, oh look, I like it actually a little more sweeter, or I like it a little less sweeter. And like this we can play around and make really our own personal ketchup.
And it's gonna taste so much more fresh. I'm so excited. So now all of our ingredients are chopped and we're just gonna put it on the stove.
I think we're missing a bit of water. Just some 250 ml water. Yeah, just like this. And now let's just put it on fire.
Okay, so now that our ingredients have been sitting on the stove for a while and they're nice and cooked, we're gonna take it off the stove for a second. And we're just gonna use our hand blender and we're gonna blend it up.
So now we have our tomatoes blended. That means we're ready to add our spices because now we're really gonna make the actual ketchup out of it. A little bit for more intensive taste and more color, we add some tomato paste. Then we'll add some vinegar. And we also add a little bit of sugar to make it sweet. And we don't need so much because You already have the apple inside. This is totally enough. And now we're gonna mix it well.
And then I've already got our funnel and our jars with our sunny cup ready. So we'll be able to fill those up. We're going to do a hot fill, so there's no need to can this, and it'll stay fresh for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Let's give it a try. Yeah, tastes good. It's sweet. A little bit of the vinegar from the ketchup as well. So very good.
Awesome. So I'm just going to pour that in. Perfect. So now that our jars are filled, we're just going to close it up nice and tight. Make sure. Now they're ready for our delicious meals.
So wow, that was a lot of work, right?
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, but it's amazing to see what we've done today. We have 4 completely different recipes. We have a jam, we have something spicy, we even have a ketchup and a tomato soup. So it's amazing that we can try out in so many different new recipes.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have all of these, and they're gonna stay good for so long. Let us know which one you're most excited to try in the comments down below. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye.